Hello everyone to today's episode of Path, Passion, Purpose by Dianes. I have the pleasure to be in London with Camilla Hagen Sørli. Did I pronounce it in the original way?
Yes, very right.
And today we're going to cover a lot of topics with Camilla because Camilla is a superwoman, like many of our women we interviewed. She is an entrepreneur. She's also next gen, involved with her family company, who has actually led many companies also as a chairwoman, and who is about to set up a new venture. And on top of all of that, she has 4 kids. So we're going to speak about how does it all, and welcome to the podcast, Camilla.
Thank you, Elena. It's really nice to be here.
So my first question is always, how did your path start and how did it get here? I know it started in Norway and I know we're in London. So what happened in between and led you to where you're today?
Yes, well, thank you. I think to describe a bit my path, I have to go back to Norway and my upbringing there, which was wonderful. Norway is a great country to grow up in. I was part of, and still am, a part of a very entrepreneurial family. My father founded a chain of grocery stores in the beginning where the kind of system went from mom and pop shops to the chains, and it was a fascinating journey to be a part of. It all expanded while also my siblings and I grew up, so we were really a part of the journey. Worked in the grocery stores all the weekends and really got to trade in at our dinner table, and the conversation was often, of course, around that. And then in approximately year 2000, the grocery chain was sold, and the company Canica, which is our family company, was created out of that. And today is a widespread portfolio, but very also focused on fast-moving consumer goods, retail, e-commerce, and financials, and real estate. And after my student years, I worked for a while outside of the company, but then I eventually entered the family company and had really my kind of big learning journey inside there. It was super exciting with fantastic colleagues, and also I worked very closely with my father and learned so much from him. But then you also have this, I don't know, it's not that it was expected, but you have all the aspects from society around you, and it's just this kind of role I just went into. It wasn't that it was forced, but maybe a bit forced from me. And I did everything I could to fit into that. And in some parts of it, I did fit, in some parts, perhaps less. And really also that's been part of my journey. But I had some great, so many great years in the aspects of investment and working with the different portfolio companies, and also outside in one of the largest assets I was for several years, and learned so much. And actually, I think it was COVID and after COVID, I found myself in a kind of good place. I had all the children, and that was fantastic as well. But I think in Norway, it's a great country to be a mother and have children, and also be able to have your career. Without my career, I wouldn't have had 4 children. It was fantastic to have the work-life balance and also spending lots of time outdoors.
And can I go quickly back?
Yeah.
What did you study and where did you study? Because I think that may be relevant to what you're doing also today.
Yes, I actually lived here in London in my student years and did comparative literature at King's College. And I worked for a publishing house in Norway after that for the first parts of my career. And then I started a master's degree and entered more of the world of corporate and business, and really that's where it took me. But yes, it's true, I'm gonna touch upon that. So for the last years in Norway before we moved here, I actually pursued an MBA, a global MBA program with London School of Economics, HEC Paris, and NYU Stern, which was really incredible. We got to travel to all of these places and be with a cohort from all over the world. I found myself in a good place. But then in the fall of 2026, I experienced big personal trauma, and it was an incident within my closest family, and it just completely pulled the rug from under my feet. Of course, lives have been with ups and downs, but it just kind of broke me completely. And I really went through a period of a downward spiral, but then also what comes from that is that self-discovery. And I truly believe that going through something like a trauma, post-traumatic stress, when you get out on the other side, you can't be the same anymore, and things you have seen can't be unseen. So
and thank you for sharing that, because I believe everybody I speak to, whether they mention it at our podcast very often on camera, and they do, and I'm very grateful for that, or off camera, I haven't come across someone who truly has managed to fully, because it's a journey to find your authentic self and have that clarity. And like in the beginning, we kind of put in both worlds, the past and the full version of who we really would like to be inside. And I feel it's so important to mention that, because I've been going also through something similar, and no one tells you before, you know, like life is supposed to be this success pattern. And I think it's really important to share that. And I know when we spoke before, you weren't sure whether you will. So I just want to say I'm grateful that you did. And I don't know if you want to take us from there, because I also have a couple of questions for before.
Yeah, I can just elaborate a little bit, I guess. I mean, it was, as you said, it's I guess these incidents are some of the most pivotal we go through life. And just for me, it changed completely, and it questioned everything that I believed to be true, and also in myself. So I'm incredibly actually grateful for going through it, because I see the world and my own role in it in such a different way. And even though I felt I was in a good place before, I realized that there is so much more to it, and that's the path that I'm on now.
And one question for before, because I have a feeling that when it comes to your family working together, you guys actually have a lot of fun, and that's not true for all family businesses. When all the siblings come together and start working with each other, and I'm blessed to know other siblings, and I feel you have a really harmonious relationship, although you're so different. What would you say is the magic in that? What can other families learn from you?
I think, I mean, there is something with the values that we grew up with, both in Norway but also within our family. And both our father but also our mother has been playing a crucial role in our upbringing and also keeping us close and together. But then also we have lived in different countries for a very, very long time, since 2008. And maybe that's also been a bit of the magic, because then we get to be together with everything that's been exciting and around work, but also we prioritize holidays together and everything like that. But we didn't necessarily have the normal weekdays together, which of course it's been sad as well. It's so often I've been thinking about how that would have been. But then again, it makes us probably value a bit more each time we're together and the dialogue that we have. And then my father is a very inclusive man. He wants us to be together. He wants us to be a part of the company. He wants us to have a saying, and he listens to us, even though he does say have the final word. But it's, of course, creates a sense of community, which has been very valuable.
Amazing. So then you came to the point where you were starting to realize what you're truly passionate about. You realized, I'm really good at my job, this is fun, but this is not all of me. So how did you discover what you're passionate about? How did that come around?
Well, then, so in January 23, we had opportunity to move to London with my husband's work, and really jumped on that. I've been wanting to experience something else for a while, and it just really felt like a great opportunity. Also, I was still struggling, and to be able to just break a bit away from everything anew and start over felt very refreshing, and it really was. Just going to a place where nobody really knows you. Norway and Oslo is a small place, you can't really hide. And it just was extremely liberating to be, you can feel that you could be yourself all the time. And it's not that I can be myself in Norway, but I think it's more about me than the others. But it was very fruitful to me to be in that space. And also I was working with my own self-development and just, being curious about myself. So going from a place of pain to a place of curiosity of that pain and how I can transform it into something of value for myself was just very empowering, and just being in a different place. I also was I was moved away from my operational work and role and lots of responsibility to have much less. Mm-hmm. So I had some big board roles and kind of an executive ownership role in the company. And when moving, I quit many of them. At first that was not that easy, because it's also part of your identity, and suddenly you just identified in the same way. But then of course there's so much opportunity in that, and I've kept the roles that are most important to me, and also where I feel where I can add the most value. Mm-hmm. And going through that process is this big kind of realization to understand that it's not really about doing all of these things or having all of these positions, but to be able to do the positions that you really enjoy and add value in the best possible way and put more effort into less. Mm-hmm. So that's really kind of what it came to. And then I got so much more time on my hands, which I used to work inwards. And yes, through that it became so clear that how do I want to spend the rest of my life, the next 40 years? What will they look like? What kind of impact can I have in the best possible way? And how will that be most fulfilling for me? Because I also believe in when we do things that we really enjoy and that we're good at, that we excel in, that's when the result comes. That's when actually success happens. And it's also success for yourself because you're happy doing it. Mm-hmm. And it was just a realization that it's not like I hadn't done any of that before, but for sure kind of less and more striving to be someone I probably never could be anyway, and into now being a position where I truly feel that I'm in the right place with my own skill set and kind of purpose and passion around it.
And from the roles you kept, which ones did you decide to keep? Which ones are the ones that you're passionate about?
The roles.
From the roles you kept?
Yeah.
Which ones are those?
So,
or which areas are there in?
Well, I have a few. So I have a board position in a large manufacturer of coatings. It's a Norwegian global company, mm-hmm. and it's the most fantastic company out there. It operates in almost all over the world, and it has an incredible built-in culture and how it both adapts locally but also take Scandinavian values mm-hmm. with it. In every presentation in the company that's done across the company every day, mm-hmm. they always start with their values.
That's amazing.
And they take care of the people across, and it's a very successful company, and it's an honor to be a part of that. And it involves quite a bit of traveling, so I do put lots of energy into that role. And then I have a few others. It's an organization in Norway called DNT. It's like the tourist outdoor nature organization, and I just love that. I love being in nature, and that's what I miss most about London is climbing mountains.
But I think you still climb mountains.
Yes, I do. I try to at least.
Okay, so coming to today, once you discovered I want to have the biggest impact, but also bring the biggest joy to myself.
Yeah.
What came to your mind?
I think so. So through my years working for the family company and inside that structure, responsibility have always been very important for me. Mm-hmm. I am value driven. I've realized that. And working through improving our footprints, becoming even more responsible, working with sustainability. And we did all of this in quite early stages many years ago, and have slowly adapted it into the company. And it has been most exciting to work with. And someone told me once that, do you want to live up to your parents or your children? Mm-hmm. And I think it's such a wise saying, mm-hmm. but of course you want to respect your parents, but the legacy you leave behind as a citizen of the world for the next generation of citizens, that's where you can have the greatest impact. And responsible ownership for me have always kind of really been with that, and my own investment portfolio as well, it really represent that responsibility. But then I also, realized what it's really about, and I think my passion for literature and books have followed me my whole life. I never leave the house without a book in my purse, and okay, the phone steals quite a bit of time, but still, I do try to read when I'm kind of on the road to somewhere. And I realized what kind of literature has truly done for me is to broadening horizons, make me get different kind of perspectives, and then again increase empathy. I truly believe that literature is one of the greatest tools we have in order to increase empathy in the world, broaden horizons, and also build cultural bridges. Mm-hmm. And in that sense, shaping a kinder world. Because what empathy really does is it creates kindness. And through that, I started to kind of going into this, how can I work with something I'm so passionate about, but also combining with my business acumen. Mm-hmm. And then this thought started to play in my mind, and yes, a publishing company. I want to publish the books that matters, the high quality literature and translated literature for people to read and understand and learn about other cultures and understandings than what they have from before. And that's where it all started. And then I also learned that in UK it's actually a flourishing independent publishing industry, and it's possible to come in as a small entity and actually, make business work sustainably, economically as well. So that's where I am now.
So have you founded the company yet?
Yes, the company is founded. It is called Akoya Publishing. Mm-hmm. Akoya is the name of a pearl inside a shell, and a pearl that is created from either like a parasite or a corner of sand into something beautiful and exquisite. So every title of my list and the program that we are creating is the pearl.
That's so beautiful. So you're entering actually an industry, most are almost exiting, an industry that in a way some people are saying is dying, right? How are you trying to make a difference with it? What's your concept?
Yeah, I think there are so many changes in this industry, and actually this industry have hardly changed over the last 500 years. Mm-hmm. So it's a moment here where things are happening, and for us as a small player, it's also where is the opportunity in that? Where can we use AI as a positive force into it? How can we understand that? How it can be an attribute to our success? How can we understand these changing dynamics? But then I truly believe that high quality literature is not something that can be created from a machine, and the access that we give to people by handing a physical or digital or by the air, but those stories that needs to be told, that role, is here. Someone needs to take that role, and I think as a smaller, leaner company, we are able to navigate those changes in perhaps an easier way than maybe some of the bigger ones will be able to do.
So this is a very interesting point we haven't discussed before, but you want to use, from what I understand, AI actually on an operational level to run the company better, but leave the creativity to the human, right? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, I think there's lots in the kind of technical operations of a company, understanding like prognosis of sales numbers, mm-hmm. For everything to like writing contracts and all of this, where of course machines can be very useful. However, the understanding, empathy, and also experience that comes from the human mind, and to write the kind of literature that gets under your skin, maybe a machine will do that in the future, but
maybe it will. But I think the combination of using AI to actually make the job of us humans being more creative and actually more cultural in a way is beautiful, because then we connect, as you said, also in a more kind way to each other, and we understand each other's diversities. Versus if we take it down to machine level, we are taking away a little bit the human element, as beautiful as it may be, right? So I highly appreciate that you're going in this direction. Is there anything else you want to share, the way you envision? Because having 4 children, I'm sure you there's a lot of questions for you how the future will look like for them. But is there anything else you would like to share with us where you would like the future to go from all perspectives, or what you're worried about the future?
Yeah, I think, of course, to support them in providing them with kind of, you know, best possible tool sets to navigate the world that's in front of them. I think that's what I probably think the most of. And I still do believe that if they are equipped with the sense of empathy, understanding, curiosity, to really, you know, wanting to explore and understand the world around them, they will be better equipped to handle everything that comes. And we can't hide away from the future. You know, it will come, but to lead it with responsibility and the focus of humanity, like having the humanity of the earth in focus also for them. I think it's, that's probably things that we discuss over the dinner table.
It's amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that with us, and I think we covered so many angles and so many really important angles, and I'm really grateful to have this interview today with you. Thank you, Camilla.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a great conversation.
Thank you.